up, guys? It's Cooper. We're brewing another batch of beer today because we ruined our last batch of the lager. So we're gonna brew another one, so we got one to drink for Oktoberfest. It's coming up next month, so stay tuned. Now we're steeping our grains at 160 for an hour. All right, now so we're sitting at 160, and we're gonna do that for an hour, and we're gonna bring these up and let them drain periodically over that hour, and continue to make our tea. So 4 cups of water, hot water, poured over the top. All right, secret sauce, Pilsner extract,
pouring in the malt extract.
We're gonna add our first set of hops, the Hallertau Mittelfrüh. That's what we used the last time. Now we're using a hop spider, which kind of helps keep the hops from getting all in the beer. So that's 2 ounces. All right, y'all. So we're at the last 15 minutes in our hop schedule. So we're gonna add the Tettnang here to our little hop spider, and we're gonna boil for another 15 minutes, and then we're gonna cool it down. So the important thing about boiling your hops is if it's not actually boiling, you're not going to break the hops down into the iso alpha acids, which is, it starts as an alpha acid, you boil it breaks down to an iso alpha acid. There's 6 of them, and that's what gives your beer everything. So if you don't
Flavor, texture,
yeah, everything. So what they used to do is they would add it, they would dry hop and add it when the beer was cold, and beer sucked until about the 50s, and then they figured it out in a lab, and since then we've been adding hops during the boil. This is our new setup for the wort chillers. So we got this guy right here, he's running through the ice bath, so he's just pulling water straight out of the ice. Then this one, we got pulling water out of the tap. So hopefully we'll cool it down about 10 minutes. All right, we're sparking now. We're at about 3 gallons, so we're gonna get this up to about 4.5 here. We're gonna take our readings. We're a little higher right now, so we're gonna keep adding water, bringing it down. All right, now we're gonna pitch our yeast, put it in warm water, get it started, prime it up, and then put that in. And we're gonna All right, so we've got our 10 gallons beer sitting here now. Technically wort, we've already pitched our yeast, so hopefully tomorrow morning we'll have some activity. The difference we're doing with this lager versus the last one is we're gonna ferment it at room temp. That way the beer finishes, and we're not fermenting at cold temps, because cold temps really slow activity. So we're gonna let it do that this time. That's what we did wrong on the last lager. So we're gonna correct that and make a kick-ass beer this time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check in with y'all, and probably tomorrow morning when this is going, but I'm also gonna check in once we re-rack in a secondary, and then when we bottle. So see y'all later. All right, guys, so we're 18 hours later here. I'm gonna give y'all a little peek in there. That's called the Krausen layer right there, and that pretty much tells us that the yeast is doing its job. So we're gonna seal this up, and we'll check back in with you guys in about 5 to 7 days. See you later.
One eternity later.
Okay, guys, welcome back. It's now day 6. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and transfer this into secondary, because our fermentation is slowed down enough to where we can go ahead and re-rack that. And so the point of this is, as your wort ferments, we had wort in the last video, now we have beer. So as it ferments, obviously there's byproducts, and the yeast, however many hundreds of billions of cells there are, they accumulate down here at the bottom. And we call those lees, and what we don't want to have happen is our beer sit on that for too long, start to get off flavors, bitterness, it just ruins your beer. So we're going to re-rack this in our kegs, and then those are going to get cold lagered for about 5 weeks. And what we're using right now is we are using a hand pump siphon because we're poor. And so we're going to pop that in there. The last lager obviously failed for several reasons, but this one we let ferment for a week at room temp. It's pretty much the same beer, and it already smells better, it looks better. I haven't tasted it yet. I tend to like to try these when I do re-rack and take another reading, specific gravity reading. So we'll do that in a little bit, but I'll check in with y'all when this is done. All right, guys. So we took our specific gravity reading. We are about 10 points from our final gravity, so we're on track. So our first step, kind of when you're lagering, I'd like to do is give it some CO2, just to purge all the oxygen out of here, and also you can make sure that everything's sealed up right. But you're just going to bleed all the oxygen out of here. That just kind of preserves your beer a lot better. So we're going to keep doing that until we get a positive pressure in there. We're going to turn off the air, carbon dioxide, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to set this puppy in there, and the idea is that when you're lagering, you want to slowly bring the temp down, like 3 to 5 degrees a day. So we're going to try to do that best we can with the kegerator, but this is the product as of right now. It'll clear up once it finishes.
2,000 years later.
So we're siphoning out the last of the Oktoberfest that we did. This is a little teaser of the color of it. Nice clear amber. So we're gonna siphon this thing out into the bucket, and then we're gonna mix it with our priming sugar. But first we gotta get a good volume on this to get our carbonation correct. So we're gonna let this sit, and then we're gonna show you another little clip here in a second of the sugar, and then we're gonna go from there. So now we're gonna add our corn sugar here. We use corn sugar and not table sugar because it's more bioavailable to the yeast. So we're just gonna whisk this up in some hot water. Make sure you calculate based on your beer type how much priming sugar you need. We're gonna mix it up. And then this needs to cool down to 80 degrees. Anything above that will burn your yeast and they'll die. While that's sitting, what we're gonna do is go ahead and start sanitizing our bottles. What I like to do, rinse them out, dip them in the sanitizer solution, rinse that out, give it a little clean water to get that nasty taste out, and boom, we're done. So we're gonna do about 2 cases today. These are our new racking systems, so we don't have to deal with bottles rolling around in the sink or on the counter. All right, guys, so now we've got our beer in here. We mixed our sugar water in. We did about 2 ounces, and our siphon is stopped. But essentially what we're gonna do is we got a little pressure switch here. It goes on the bottle, and you fill it all the way up to the brim, pull it out, and you've got your bottle, and then you bring it over here, and we're gonna cap it like so. Boom, press it down, and you're done. And then you're gonna let this sit for 3 weeks. And during that 3 weeks, the yeast is gonna go ahead and process that sugar that you put in there, and that's what's gonna give you your carbonation, because there's nowhere for this air to get out. You're then gonna be stuck with a nice carbonated, crisp Oktoberfest Lager like the one that we just brewed. So we'll check in with y'all next time. Appreciate you watching. Hit up the comments if you want me to brew a certain type of beer, and thanks for watching, guys. See you later.